How's it going, everybody? Welcome to OP Entertainment. I'm Omar Darwish.
And I'm Pratik Cherian.
And this is our review of the season finale of Loki Season 2, Glorious Purpose, back at it again, Glorious Purpose again. We're going to go full spoilers, everything MCU, from past, present, and future, all time, always, everything. I want to say, before I talk about this episode specifically, that Loki Season 2 has been a delight, and I've really enjoyed the whole thing. Pratik, what did you think of it?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, this season is up there.
I just want to say, we can talk about how good Season 2 is without shitting on Season 1. Go ahead.
Season 2 it's probably in my top 5 of Phase 4 projects.
Season 2?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it. I had a blast. I looked forward to it week after week after week. I never really felt like there was this one just like dragging filler episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely didn't have like a Lamentus 7 or whatever, Nexus 6 or whatever from last season. Oh man, look at me. I'm the one shitting on Season 1.
That's called bait.
Listen. I think you're right. This season definitely doesn't have as many misses. I think this episode has maybe the most misses for me out of the whole season. And I love this episode. I thought this episode was really good. The music was freaking incredible. And I'm saying that first because that's how good the music was. Just like Tom Hiddleston's acting was great. The stuff that they have Tom Hiddleston doing where he's just constantly going back to a point and like, oh, let's try this again. Oh, we're going to have to do that again. It's almost worth it to me, even though I think that's like the worst, laziest kind of time travel. It's worth it to me to get Tom Hiddleston's acting out of those scenes.
I greatly enjoy a time loop story, so I appreciate it. But I agree with you. I thought the acting in it was great, and I thought that the way that he amps up his desperation in attempt after attempt after attempt was really well done.
Yeah. And I do like a good time loop story. I just feel like when you're handling a universe that has multiverse, like the MCU, when you do time loop, it just takes away the weight of the whole MCU for me. When
a lot of
people continue to do time
a lot of
loop.
People say that about multiverses, though. So I think it's almost a.
But that's what I'm saying. I think people say that about multiverses because they allow you to do stuff like this, whereas you don't need to go that route. I feel like if they didn't need to go that avenue with multiverse and time travel. That being said, Loki finds himself at a point where he's like, okay, I can't.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I try, I'm not going to be able to stop this. That is something I think the MCU needed to introduce. The fact that even if you have the ability to go back and try things a million times, it doesn't matter how many times you try it. Some things are inevitable, right? So that's cool. Although we do kind of get our way around it, but
sure, yeah, no, I think that's just a testament to this season of Loki, though, because both of those things that you're talking about are very much a Loki specific thing.
Sure,
we don't see time loops occurring anywhere else, and we don't see in any other MCU project outside of the first Doctor Strange, where someone Strange goes back, tries again, goes back, tries again.
And if you want to count the animated What If, there's a similar thing in What If.
Yes,
he's constantly going back and trying to save Christina.
Yeah.
Spoilers for What If. We said spoilers. I guess right. It's okay. They haven't used it too much, but like, I just don't think that's what the MCU needs right now. Like when people are already shaky. Like, this is another thing. Do you think people are going to be confused by this?
Oh yeah, because I'm confused by this.
Yeah, we had
need
plenty of debates already. Like,
I need an explanation as to what, and I think it's one of those things that's pretty simple to clear up. As far as, okay, so what's the state of the world going forward kind of thing?
You would think, but this episode had more exposition explaining the timelines and what's going on with everything than anything in the MCU so far. And I was still kind of... now I'm a little bit more confused than I feel like I was before. Like, I think I have a grasp on what's happening, but, like, I don't think that, like, a kid is going to get this. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
but I also don't know how many kids are watching Loki Season 2.
But what is the demographic now, though? Like, who are they going for? Everybody?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't know if they quite know.
Man. Speaking of they don't quite know, what are they going to do with Kang? Because, oh my God, Jonathan Majors was incredible in this. When we get back to He Who Remains and he gets to like chew on that role a bit more.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, this is great because
I hated how much I liked it.
Yes, I could tell. Because I was like, this is awesome.
It really was.
It felt like it felt like they got done with like filming all the Victor Timely stuff, and they were like, it doesn't feel that different from the first Kang. He was like, oh, I'll show you how different it is. It's subtle differences.
That little scene where he was mocking Victor Timely was just like was fantastic.
It was great. So yeah, all other things considered, hopefully they can keep Jonathan Majors if he's innocent. We both speculate that they probably had a post-credit scene. They pulled it because
it definitely. So I had said that this needed to resolve the Loom issue, which it did, and it needed to tease something Kang, and it didn't quite. There's like one or two like throwaway lines towards the end in what I would call the extended epilogue. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if this is the way that they shelve Kang, like it very easily could be the way they shelve Kang.
Could it be? You think they could just not mention Kang again after this?
You could treat him as a thing that the TVA deals with, and not a big menacing, this is our big bad villain for the entire phase.
Do enough people know that Kang's Dynasty is the next Avengers movie?
Which is why it makes it easy to pivot. That's what I mean.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of think enough people do know, though. I feel like it'd be like, wait, what? They're just going to change it.
If they just announce their
Look, if they announce the next Avengers movie is Avengers Iron Man Returns, I think everyone will forget all about Kang's Dynasty, so it'll be fine.
They changed the name. I mean, originally it was going to be Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War, like Infinity War 1 and 2.
Actually, nobody complained about that, really, so, okay.
Yeah, like, they can pivot. It doesn't matter.
This seems like a big pivot. Either way.
Yeah. It is what it is. We're not even talking about the episode now.
Okay, back to the episode at hand. I liked how sci-fi it was and how cool it was after the first 20 minutes when they're just, or 20 to 30 minutes when he's just like constantly trying to redo the same 2 or 3 scenes of Loki. We both kind of had a little bit of an issue with Loki going back to season 1 where the scene where Mobius is showing Loki all his memories and stuff. Because at the end of that scene, Mobius tethers away. Why though? We don't have any?
We don't have a concrete answer. I don't have one. You don't have one. My thinking is it's more symbolic of Loki letting Mobius go, because that's the moment where he like realizes what he needs to do, and it kind of like we get the.
But if you're gonna start using symbolic imagery while you're also using
I agree. Wait. I agree with you there. I do agree.
Yeah, a couple lingering questions. Like, why is Ravonna able to be there at the end of time? Or at that void when we kind of see it being ripped away? Like, is it all happening like at once? I feel like this episode really needed a post-credit scene. Like
I guess my thing is like I don't know that a post-credit scene would have explained all of these things. Sure, but I do wish.
But it could have explained some of them for sure. They could have. I feel like I needed a little bit of like. Okay, I need a little bit of the aftermath of what we just got. I know we got.
How do you feel about how do you feel about a Loki season 3 explaining some of this?
So I would love that. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring on Loki season 3. Let's go.
I have no idea how you do that, but
I think if anything else, if this show did nothing, it set up a Loki season 3 because now we have a functioning TVA that doesn't have
this does function the way that a lot of like TV season finales go, where like you cut like there's enough lingering threads, but you also feel like the characters
the base of everything is the TVA show can continue.
The TVA show, absolutely.
It doesn't even have to be called Loki at this point, although Loki is very integral to the TVA now more than ever.
It did have an air of finality to it, especially with the way at the very end where like our Loki like flashing logos like go to just like all the other letters disappear and it's just the O and then it fades. Definitely has this air of like we're letting that go.
Question I'm just getting now. So when we get back to the like new TVA, for lack of a better term, you see a poster and it has like the tree.
Yeah.
Can they see this tree? Do they know what it looked like? How do they know that's what happened? I just feel like this episode was an hour long, but man, it could have used another 20 minutes of like just.
See, again, I feel like that's a question that is a perfect question to answer in season 3.
But this isn't something where like season 3 is going to be just around the corner.
No,
season 3 is going to happen after like a bunch of major Marvel movies come out. You know what I mean? Like, are we going to be at Secret Wars by the time season 3 comes out? You know what I mean?
Maybe that's what leads directly into Secret Wars. Who knows?
All right, I'm here for it. What else you got about this? Where do you think Mobius is going? I mean, we know where he is, but he's just going to stay there and just let time pass. That was a great line too. He's just like, I just want to let time pass because I've just been in this bubble of no time. So
I liked it. No, you know what? We've kept the piece on the board for us to use with as we want to in season 3.
I
think basically my giant takeaway is we need a season 3, which is not a place I was after season 1. So
I think that Marvel taking like the Loki creators and putting them on Daredevil or Punisher or whatever. What are they doing? I saw they were taking like the Loki people, not the creators, but like the director of season 2 is working on like I think Daredevil, the new Daredevil show that they're rebooting again after throwing it away.
Very different feels, but. Yeah.
But they have a showrunner. like it feels
they
like
clearly know how to put together a competent season of television.
Yeah, they're like, all right, that's the one thing that people are responding to. Use that. Make them do this. So I like that a little bit, I guess. What did you not like about this episode, though?
The things that I don't like about it are the things are kind of what I've said, where the stuff where I'm like, I don't know how that makes sense necessarily, but they're not things. I think the thing that why I'm happy is they're not things that like completely break the show. Like, yeah, you know, it's the Ravonna thing, it's the Mobius thing, it's the how does Loki have the crux of his abilities at the end? How exactly does that work?
Oh, so how did he get those? Always been able to just go, not only go out there and survive when everybody else has needed this,
but
stuff,
just grab
be able to grab timelines. Oh, that looks like that's what I need. That's what I need. That's what I like. How does he know? I don't know.
It's not even that he grabs like the couple he needs, because he like I was telling you off camera, he grabs a couple, and then we see like all of them disappear after him. So I'm assuming that he grabs like the essential.
But just like, how does he even know that any of this would work?
Yeah, no, I agree. But it's also one of those things where like, even though I have that, how does he know? I can very easily like. In my mind,
come up, I
can headcanon it and yeah, exactly. Okay. And most of the time in shows, as long as I can headcanon it away, I'm good.
How big is the void at the end of time? Like, if you open any space in like or tear in space time, are you just at this little corner in the island, or like because he got there instantly? He just thought of it anyway. These are little nitpicky things.
Yeah, right.
I hope we get answers sooner than later.
But see, these are the things that like Reddit speculation is made up of. Like, like the Star Wars universe, like Star Wars, Harry Potter, like all of these fandoms that have these like super active like people debating the like nitty. Like the smallest details from these things.
Yeah, because that's what we want. We want the MCU to turn into Star Wars' toxic fandom.
Not the toxic fandom, but the part of it where it's just like where you're breaking down like the smallest of tiny details, and where fans are kind of not necessarily
debating
like creating
on what
things.
Is what.
Yeah,
I
or
like
like coming
too.
up.
You're right.
Like I think that's the stuff that makes like fandom fun.
Yeah,
you know?
It's the water cooler stuff. Of
like I don't like. It's nice to have an overall tight universe, but I don't need a handheld explanation of every.
Do you know what though? I think especially after a show and episode as confusing as that was, I do think you need a bit of that, especially where people don't really get what the MCU is right now. So I think this isn't the time to let everyone speculation run wild.
Get weird. Why not?
Weird. They tried that all of Phase 4. Nobody liked it particularly.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like Phase 4 was something different. We can have a different discussion about like.
No, let's do it now. All right, we're gonna spend another hour on this.
Nope. Why don't you score it? Let's get out of here.
I'm gonna say 9. Just because it made a time travel convention that I hate something tolerable for me, and I just love all the characters involved, and I was as desperate as Loki to keep everybody together because I didn't want to get rid of what we've built with this whole show and universe. So. I'm going to say 9. I really enjoyed 9 for the show or for the season overall and 9 for the episode.
I'm going to say 9 for the episode overall. Like you said, I really do like how with this finale, we really centered the journey on Loki himself. Like the growth that Loki experiences in this episode alone, I thought was really, really big. And it made the moment at the end feel like it...
Because he's the only one learning anything.
Oh, sure, yeah. But again, for a show called Loki, I do kind of like that.
That was great, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like our title character is the one that we focus on. And it made those moments at the end, I think, feel more grand because we learned what Loki learned.
Even when he's like, when he pulls Sylvie out of time for a little bit and they're having their conversation, I'm like, it's just, he doesn't feel alone for a second. I loved it.
Yeah. And it was...
That's all direction and acting and
it was great. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 9. I think this season overall, I loved it. I'm going to go with an 8. I'm not going to like outline the problems why. It just feels like an 8.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. You want to take us out?
All right, guys. Well, we won't see you next week for another episode of Loki because it's over. Marvel hates us. They don't want us to do show reviews anymore. What do we got next? Oh, we got the Marvels coming up tomorrow. So hopefully that's good. We'll see.
We'll find out.
See you guys.